News Central now at this hour begins in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu has submitted the names of the inaugural governing board members for the Northwest Development Commission to the Senate for confirmation. This follows the president's recent assent to the bill sponsored by Deputy Senate President Senator Barau Jibrin, aimed at accelerating development in the Northwest geopolitical zone, which includes Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Jigawa, Sokoto, and Zamfara states. The Northwest Development Commission is tasked with facilitating the reconstruction of roads, homes, and business premises damaged by various crises, as well as addressing poverty, literacy challenges, ecological issues, and other developmental concerns in the region. In the meantime, the federal government has declared Tuesday, October 1, 2024, a public holiday to commemorate Nigeria's 64th Independence Day. This announcement was made by the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, in a statement issued by the ministry's permanent secretary, Dr. Magdalene Ajani. Tunji-Ojo extended his congratulations to Nigerians, both at home and abroad, praising their resilience and hard work. He emphasized that their sacrifice will not be in vain. While wishing the nation a happy Independence Day, the minister urged all Nigerians to remain steadfast in their commitment to nation building. Away from that, the Nigeria Police Force has added 2 more charges to the ones filed against the End Bad Governance protesters at the Federal High Court in Abuja. This was at the resumed trial on Friday, where the prosecution also arraigned a new protester among those initially arraigned. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
The only female protester, Angel Innocent, currently on trial, now enjoying her freedom. On the other hand, Michael Adaramoye, also called Lenin, and a few others, seen in handcuffs, continue to work to meet up with their bail conditions before they can regain their freedom. The resumed trial saw a new protester arraigned, making the total number of protesters on trial to be 11, with 2 amended charges slammed on them, a situation their lawyer says is very disheartening.
It is something that flimsy charges that is unbecoming of a prosecution to add that particular charges. That is terrorism. I don't even know why terrorism or protest became a terrorism act. Well, although we sincerely appreciate the kind ruling of the court, which they granted all the defendants, or admitted all the defendants to bail.
One additional person was arrested, who is also linked to the charge. And that is why the charge was amended, and to include him. So, and today we applying, and the court granted the application for amendment, and that is why a fresh plea was taken. Because once a charge has been amended, a fresh plea of the defendant had to be taken.
Meanwhile, trial judge Emeka Nwite has maintained that the bail granted to all the protesters stands. The trial continues on November 8th and 11th this year. In Abuja for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
Ahead of the planned protests by aggrieved youths nationwide slated for October 1st over the current hardship being experienced in the country, the Arewa Youths for Peaceful Coexistence has called on the organizers of the protest to reconsider their plans. The group, while speaking to newsmen in Abuja, says that much has been achieved by the current government and called for dialogue instead of protests, which can lead to wide-scale violence and destruction of public property. They urged those involved to prioritize peace and stability of the country. As part of programs lined up to formally herald the 2024-2025 legal year of the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, will swear in 87 new senior advocates of Nigeria on Monday at the main courtroom. A statement by the Director, Information and Public Relations, Festus Akonde, on Friday said that the CJN will deliver a State of the Judiciary address with a view to highlighting the performance of the Supreme Court in particular and the Nigerian judiciary in general in the 2023-2024 legal year. In the same vein, other leading stakeholders in the justice sector will present speeches bordering on the state of the justice sector in the country. Earlier, Tunji Abdulhamid, a legal practitioner, joined us for more on this.
Every year, lawyers, judges go on vacation and they return back first week or second week of September, depending on the time. So they now the new section, the new legal year is to start, and they do have activities in that regard. So this one will mark the beginning of the new legal year for the 2024-2025. So it's normal, it's not new. It's been there like that. And part of the activities is to also train a senior advocate of Nigeria. Those have been confirmed as senior advocate of Nigeria. So they will be doing their initiation tomorrow or Monday. That is started. So it's not something new. It's normal. It's part of the activities. Other states also will do their own. Apart from the Supreme Court, each state will have their own legal year activities. Lagos State did its own just this week, Monday. It was done. They will go to mosque, go to church. Muslim Christian will go to church. Muslim will go to mosque, and then we'll go to the High Court premises to do that. But in this case, now it will be at the Supreme Court, and all some of the judges that will be there, the lawyers will be there, and then guests will also be there, the invited guests. So I think it's normal ritual. It's not a new thing. The problem we have in Nigeria is enormous. It's not like Nigeria's situation. For instance, the area of appointment of the judges, that is one of the key areas that we need to look into, because we are having this problem we're having today because we have some judges who are not even qualified to be there. Some who are there who became judges by virtue of not merit, but by virtue of connections. So if you have people who have the interest, who knows the job being appointed, sometimes we will have some of these issues that have been causing conflicts in it. In other words, integrity also matters. Most times, some of these people are not properly screened, and some of them don't even have the quality to be, like I said earlier on. I'm not trying to disparage anybody. It's just a reality. We are looking for a way forward. And if we are looking for a way forward, we must tell ourselves the truth. Some people got the position by virtue of who they are, where they come from, and who they know, and not because they merit the position. So it's just like normal thing that happens in Nigeria. In Nigeria, if you don't know anybody, if you are not part of the system, or if your name does not...
Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arrested former Taraba State Governor Darius Ishaku over his alleged involvement in a 27 billion naira fraud case. Ishaku is facing 15 counts of criminal breach of trust, misappropriation, and diversion of public funds, all related to his tenure as governor between 2015 and 2021. According to the EFCC, the former governor allegedly embezzled 1.01 billion naira between August 2015 and March 2016 from the 2.5% contingency fund of the Taraba State Bureau of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. He is also accused of siphoning 3.348 billion naira from local government funds for personal use and diverting another 639 million for his own benefit. And following the House of Representatives' resolution to investigate allegations of bribery against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the Joint Committees of the House has extended an invitation to the chairman of the commission, Ola Olukoyede, in a letter dated September 27, 2024. The committee asked the EFCC chairman and the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Correctional Service to appear on Monday, the 30th, with all officers involved in the allegation. The allegation of bribery against the Anti-Graft Agency and the Nigeria Correctional Service followed a trending social media voice conversation involving one Idris Okuneye, a cross-dresser sentenced earlier this year to 6 months in prison for the abuse of the Naira. Now, to discuss this further, we are joined by a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst, Toho Oseriwaja, who is joining me from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much, Mr. Oseruwaja, for joining us on the news. Barring the accusation of bribery against the Economic Financial Crimes Commission, the House of Reps Committee has actually invited the head of the EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, including the officers said to be responsible for these allegations and the bribery, of course, involved in the allegation anyway, to appear before the sitting probably very soon in order to answer cases as regards the allegations leveled against them. And at this point, I have a legal practitioner, public affairs analyst, Toho Oseruwaja, who will be helping us understand the legal implications of this. Toho, it's nice to have you around. I believe we can hear you now.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome.
So let's understand the legal angle of this invitation by the House of Representatives investigating the EFCC concerning the bribery allegations. What's your take on the situation so far?
Okay, first of all, I want to say that the House of Reps and the committee, they have the constitutional right by virtue of Section 88, subsection 1, paragraph A of the Constitution to invite the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, because the Economic and Financial Crime Commission exists as a result of the act of the National Assembly. So it's part of the constitutional responsibility of the House of Rep to invite them over an issue which they believe is of public concern or that has to dent the image of the commission. But however, I believe the House of Reps are in a rush to carry out the oversight function because the matter is still too early for them to intervene. And I want to commend the EFCC chairman who has taken it upon himself to swing into action immediately such allegation or the tape was discussed on social media.
If you say the Green Chamber is actually in haste to intervene in this matter, what would you have expected in terms of procedure when it comes to investigating cases of bribery like this?
Okay, first of all, the EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, has disciplinary measures put in place for area officers. And those disciplinary measures, the first activation the chairman has done is to call for the officers involved in the alleged corrupt act, and also cause investigation, which EFCC within their mechanism, their internal mechanism to deal with erring officers has already they've already activated that mechanism. So first of all, what the House should have done is to wait for the outcome of the EFCC investigation of their officers, because they have disciplinary measures, and the disciplinary measures will be followed to the latter before the House dive into the issue. And I believe that this is not an issue that's meant to be of great importance to the House now, rather than looking at other sensitive areas in the Nigerian economy and policies and politics. So, but I don't really know. But for me, I believe the Office of the Attorney General, which acts as a supervising role, should have been contacted for further details. And also the Ministry of Interior, which is the supervising ministry of these bodies, ought to have also be giving credence as to the procedures put in place for erring officers. Because what the House of Reps is doing now, they may end up compromising or complicating the issue at hand.
Okay, so let's look at the details now. What rights do individuals involved in the investigation have, especially regarding protection against self-incrimination and public disclosure?
No, well, first of all, if you look at the clip in question, you can neither both parties, neither the person who is making the call or the person who received the call, because you could see that from the recording thus far, you discover that it is either of them that disclosed the content of that conversation. So one, the issue of privacy cannot in any way avail Idris in question now. who is popularly known as Bobrisky. Issue of privacy cannot come in. Issue of data protection can never come in that regard. So, but another thing again for the Martins in question, which is popularly known as Very Dark Man, on his own way of making, or his own way of seeing a better society, I think he also have the right to decline the invitation of the House of Reps, because it's not an institution of the is not an institution or is not an institution or an employee of the federal government. Okay. But be that as issue of respect and courtesy, he can honor that invitation. But I think the proper thing that should be done, is what the EFCC chairman has actually done, and also the Minister of Interior. I think they actually did the proper thing. But I don't know what the House of Reps is coming into for.
Okay, so we've seen trending social media conversations and people wading into the matter with different opinions as we speak, and different evidence is coming back and forth as regards who is right and who is wrong. So I'm wondering what influence this might have on the admission of such a situation as regards the allegation and the eventual outcome of the allegation.
Well, if you listen to the tape carefully, you discover that if EFCC will actually carry out their due diligence on some of the conversation, like me, I'm a lawyer, I'm not an investigator. There are so many names that are mentioned, and there are so many specific amounts that were called, and the period in which these amounts left an individual account to another account. So that can be a circumstantial evidence within the ambit of their investigation. And also, we understand that the prosecuting team of the prosecution, which is the EFCC in this regard, first of all, let me question the fact that majority of us, when this issue came up, we knew for sure that by virtue of Section 6, and Section 6, which is the general power of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, and Section 7, which is the specific power of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, does not give them the power to prosecute somebody that committed an offense under Section 21 of the Central Bank Act. So that is for one. But under the Money Laundering Act, under the money laundering charges they brought, they have that particular power. But the reason why they withdraw that charge is another circumstantial issue the investigators will look into. Because for a plea bargain to be entered, there are procedures stated by the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, which if you look at Section 270 of the Act, you see that the procedures that the prosecution need to follow for a plea bargain to be taken. So all these are circumstantial evidence that will aid the investigation. Then moving forward, whether those evidence will be admitted in court or not is issue of what the Evidence Act says and how the evidence are collected. And also, we should also overweigh that the court is not a court of public opinion or emotions. The court only work on what is brought before them. And the things that are brought before them, are they admissible in line with the Evidence Act or circumstantial law that will make them admitted? So those are the things. But I believe that it's really sad that these things are coming out in this particular way.
Well, then we'll wait for the outcome of the investigation, but on the part of the Green Chamber, that's the House of Reps, and of course the EFCC. Thank you so much to host Arewa for sharing your legal perspective to this.
You're welcome.
Moving on now, Anambra State Governor Charles Soludo has described the ongoing local government elections across the state's 326 political wards and 5,891 polling units as a mock exercise in preparation for the 2025 governorship election. Soludo made these statements to newsmen shortly after casting his vote at Ward 001, Unit 002 in Agua local government area. Expressing satisfaction with the process, the governor commended the Anambra State Independent Electoral Commission for conducting a peaceful election across the state. This marks the first local government election in Anambra in 10 years, allowing residents to elect local government chairmen and councillors to represent them at the grassroots level.
An opinion poll or a mock election towards what happens next year. So for our administration, we're not taking it very lightly, and we've said it to ANSEC, and to all Anambra people that this will be one huge example of a local government election that is conducted very transparently, creditably, and with all the, you can see people here lined up, everybody voting peacefully. That's the report I'm getting from all over the state. And so we're hoping that, as I tell to people, votes must be cast openly, transparently, and votes must be counted. One man, one vote.
And our correspondent, Hassan Nasrallah, joined us for more updates on this. And, of course, he's right on ground. Anyway, I can see him, we can see him, and he'll be sharing with us some updates as regards this. Austin, good afternoon to you. Let's understand where exactly you are, and let's have the updates.
Good afternoon. We are currently in Awka South local government area, and this is Ward 2, Unit 0, 4, and 5. Behind me, you can see that the ballot box is half filled, and you can see the ballot papers already, on it. So it means very soon they will be doing the sorting and the counting. Don't forget to that ANSEC had a law that stipulates that voting starts around 8 in the morning and closes around 2, then 3 to 4 thereabout. We'll be sorting and counting, and thereafter the announcement of the result. Of course, we have some people who are on ground here to tell us more about the process. Okay. But earlier on, we went across some other units where we saw that voting have been completed in other places. Okay. All right, we have one of the voters here to tell us, share more light to us. Okay, sir, let's meet to your name.
My name is Honorable Ndubisu Okoye. I'm from Amobele. We came to vote for the local government election that is taking place today. And I voted. Yeah, but we are just waiting for the time. The closing time should be 4 o'clock. So we are waiting for them to close the voting and count the votes before we go. When we vote, we watch over our vote and see that they are counted and written down. So that's what we are here for. Yes.
Okay, can you take us through if there's any issue during the voting process or not?
No, it went peacefully. As you can see, nobody is quarreling with each other. The vote went on peacefully. Up till now, I've been here since 8 o'clock in the morning. There was no confrontation, no quarrel. Once you cast your vote, you stay aside. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, from what he has said so far, from what you observe on the ground, but we saw that there's a little bit of a voter apathy for this. Yes.
Yes, that's what I wanted to confirm, because we know that this is more or less like grassroots election. I was going to ask how the participation was in terms of the turnout, if people actually did come, of course, in their numbers to cast their ballots.
Yes, of course. Earlier on, when we interviewed some persons, they actually said that because of the previous elections, precisely the presidential 2023 election, they still have the fever, within them, and they were quite not certain for them to go to the poll. But nevertheless, going to the poll, we saw that some places, particularly the polling units of the local of the governor, was kind of filled up. But in other places we went to, we saw very few individuals who just came in their votes and moved away, unlike when you have the governorship election or the general election. So it's quite different. So from here you can see the ballots already. They are doing sorting already, and you can confirm for yourself if you're to be a general election. Of course, you see a lot of persons around that particular, that unit, but you can see a very few individuals, about 5 of them that are watching over the polling unit, unlike what you used to have in governorship election and presidential election.
Okay, before I let you go, this would mean that the security personnel or details attached to these polling units to manage the situation have less to do in terms of ensuring that these areas are safe and secured and there are no infiltration. But I'd like to find out, how soon do we expect a wrap-up on the exercise and probably an announcement to be made?
Of course, some of the polling units we visited earlier in the morning, we didn't see presence of security personnel. But moving forward close to the town, we saw some security personnel stationed at the polling unit. But however, we still have some security personnel still on ground here. You can see the road safety, and we saw earlier on the NDLA personnel on the ground here. At the other side, we saw police as well. Police was equally here, and other people who, other security agencies manning the, marching the polling unit. But however, we believed at the end of the election here, the process, they will take it down to the RAC center where they will do the proper collation. Thereafter, they will take it to the local government. They will take it down to the local government before they will not take it down to the state headquarters where they will announce the results, local government by local government, by the ANSEC chairman.
All right, thank you very much, Hassan Nasrallah. You're doing a great job, I must say, and we will continue to talk to you to get more feedbacks from you from your end. Thank you so much. We'll move on now. The federal government has unveiled a plan to expand compressed natural gas to, of course, looking at the infrastructure, and it's aimed at reducing transportation fares by about 40%. The initiative was formalized during a memorandum of understanding signed in a ceremony on Friday in Abuja, bringing together key stakeholders, including representatives from the National Union of Road Transport Workers in Kogi State. The program director of the presidential CNG initiative, Michael Oluwademi, emphasized a government's commitment to making transportation more affordable amid rising fuel prices. Under the new plan, fares for 8 passenger vehicles traveling from Abuja to Ajaokuta train station will drop from 12,000 naira to about 7,000 naira, while fares for 4 passenger vehicles are expected to decrease from 13,000 naira to 8,000 naira. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has expressed a reservation over the performance of the contractors handling the Kashi-Akpo Road project. The minister, during an inspection tour of the road, says President Bola Tinubu has mandated a speedy completion of the project because of its importance to residents in the area. Amadin Uyi tells us more.
The city administration says the road project is key and is one of its emergency road projects.
What attracted me to that road, if you remember, when we came to this Kashi-Akpo road last time, we took that road and I saw how bad the road was, and I said, no, this is not acceptable to us. And we wrote to Mr. President and he approved that there should be immediate rehabilitation of that road. And we are doing it under emergency. And so we had to contract the SCC to see how they can rehabilitate that road. It's a 18-kilometer road, 18 kilometers. So, and we have street lights, and they have given us 8 months to be able to complete that road. You know how important that road is. Look at so many agencies of government along that road.
The Minister of the FCT says that the completion of the project will contribute immensely to the economic development of the area.
It's a project that's very dear to us. We know the importance of this road. So many people are eager to see that this project is completed on time so that it will ease off a lot of traffic and also will boost the economic activities of this area. Let us give them the benefit of doubt. I believe that they will play their own part. We are doing what we're supposed to do. The funds are there to be given to them. And we believe that if they put more efforts, if I come here again and see that they've improved on what we've seen on ground today, I will tell the finance and the treasury department to release further funds to them. But for now, let's watch them. But we're very serious about this project.
He expressed worry at the speed of work by the contractors, expressing reservation at their performance.
As of the last time we came, we believed that if the contractors are moved back to site, obviously We thought that within 7 months that they ought to have completed, but unfortunately, the contractors were not able to move to site because of some procurement processes. But thank God we have passed that stage now and have also been mobilized to move to site. I still have my doubts. I will not lie to you. I still have my doubt, but they are still insisting that by April they would have completed this project.
The Karishe-Apo Road connects the Karishe satellite community to the heart of the city center via the Apo district. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
The news continues in West Africa, where a minister in Senegal's former government has been jailed on charges of extortion, embezzlement, and money laundering during his previous role as head of the National Lottery. Lat Diop headed the National Lottery from 2020 and then served as sports minister from 2023 to 2024 under ex-president Macky Sall. Is the first former minister to be detained under the new authorities who took office in April. President Diomaye Faye and his Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko have repeatedly said they will seek accountability from previous administration.
Le régime du président Macky Sall a menti au peuple, a menti aux partenaires, a tripatouillé les chiffres pour donner une image économique, financière et budgétaire qui n'avait rien à voir avec la réalité. Même si
17 people were killed in a devastating mass shooting in South Africa's Eastern Cape, with 3 others critically injured. The incidents occurred on Friday night in Iyate village in Ngobozana, Lusikisiki, where victims believed to be relatives and neighbors were shot dead in Homestead. 13 victims, including 12 women and 1 man, were found in one house, while 4 more were discovered in another homestead. In total, 15 men and 2 women lost their lives. It is alleged that the victims were preparing for a traditional ritual scheduled for Saturday to mark the end of mourning for a mother and daughter murdered a year ago. The 3 injured survivors are currently fighting for their lives in the hospital. Outside Africa, Lebanese movement Hezbollah has confirmed that its leader Hassan Nasrallah has been killed, dealing a seismic blow to the Iran-backed group that has been engaged in a year of cross-border hostilities with Israel. Hezbollah's statement confirms earlier announcements from Israel's military that they had killed Nasrallah in an airstrike on Beirut's southern suburbs, in a move that could destabilize Lebanon as a whole. Meanwhile, Israeli army spokesperson Daniel Hagari says the killing of Nasrallah makes the world a safer place, adding that it was one of the greatest enemies of the state of Israel in all of history.
נסראללה הוא האחראי לרצח וחטיפה של ישראלים ואזרחים מכל העולם לאורך שנים. נסראללה היה מגדולי האויבים של מדינת ישראל בכל הזמנים. הוא היווה איום על אזרחי מדינת ישראל לאורך עשרות שנים, וחיסולו הופך את העולם למקום בטוח יותר.
Let's now tell you that Vice President Kamala Harris, during her first visit to the U.S.-Mexico border as a presidential candidate, vowed on Friday to tighten border security and reform America's immigration system. Harris is seeking to close the gap on immigration, where polls show that a majority of Americans trust her Republican rival Donald Trump more on this critical issue ahead of November's election. Speaking to a supportive crowd in Douglas, Arizona, Harris balanced a tough stance on illegal migration with a pledge to work across party lines to fix what she called a broken immigration system.
And as president, I won't only bring back the border security bill that Donald Trump tanked, I will do more to secure our border. To reduce illegal border crossings, I will take further action to keep the border closed between ports of entry. Those who cross our borders unlawfully will be apprehended and removed and barred from re-entering for 5 years. We will pursue more severe criminal charges against repeat violators. And if someone does not make an asylum request at a legal point of entry and instead crosses our border unlawfully, they will be barred from receiving asylum. While we understand that many people are desperate to migrate to the United States, our system must be orderly and secure.
Now, at least 43 people have died and millions are without power as Hurricane Helene swept through the southeastern U.S. Helene, the most powerful storm on record to hit Florida's Big Bend, moved north into Georgia and the Carolinas after making landfall late on Thursday. Though the hurricane has weakened significantly, meteorologists warn that strong winds, flooding, and tornado threats remain. Roads and homes were submerged on Friday, with one family recounting how they had to swim to safety. Now, hundreds of Chileans, mostly women, marched through downtown Santiago as part of the Global Day of Action for Legal, Safe, and Accessible Abortion, calling for reforms to the country's abortion laws. Chile legalized abortion in 2017. But only under 3 circumstances, namely when the mother's life is at risk, when the fetus is not viable, and in cases of rape. In June, President Gabriel Boric announced plans to submit a bill to Congress that will expand abortion access. The bill is expected to be debated by the end of 2024.
Porque el aborto libre, gratuito y seguro no está implementado en Chile y creo que es necesario un asunto de salud pública más allá de los ideales que pueda tener uno. Porque me interesa que el aborto se despenalice. Considero que es muy importante que las mujeres tengamos el derecho de decidir y que la única causal importante es que sea nuestra decisión. Eso.
And that's all at this hour, but before we go, we'll look at our major stories again. President Tinubu submits nominees for Northwest Development Commission Governing Board to Senate. Anambra governor describes local government poll as mock exercise for 2025 governorship election. We also told you that Hezbollah leader Nasrallah has been killed in Israeli strike in Beirut. Well, you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekan Onabanjo.